The committee is collecting this money as an entity operating within the county government of Nandi. Then they are not doing it for you. They are not an agent of the county government of Nandi. You can only capture that as your revenue if it's being collected by an agency, somebody that you have told to collect on your behalf. They are not collecting on your behalf. So to begin with, those revenues cannot be captured as part of ONSO's revenue for the government. Secondly, do you have visibility on how that money is spent? Do you have even control of how that money is spent?
I had Chair, Governor, you need to answer whether this matter has been appealed. Secondly, just to top up what Senator Wambua, when as a county or even you must surrender to the county treasurer. So if there is a committee that is collecting, where are they taking this money to? Because by the fact the governor generates financial statement to indicate says is part of its own revenue in the financial statement of receiver of revenue, he must be sure that that money is banked with the county treasury. So where does this committee take the money to for it to be reflected as part of the financial statements? That will be my two questions, Chair.
Governor.
So the first question, whether we appealed, if you look at it, when we saw the decision of the High Court, it indicated that tea is a scheduled crop, and therefore, that being the case, it can, levy on it can only be done by national government. And therefore, what we are curing this is that we already have a draft bill, the fresh produce transportation bill, that seeks to allow us to collect, a levy on instead of, the traditional cess. So we already are working on a bill to try and address that.
So I think because money was collected by the committee, whether or not it was procedural, but it's in your books of accounts. We need to know how that money was used. Give us the schedule of the roads, the projects done. Okay, that would amount to 85 million and 7.7 million. Okay, but in future, then we need to decide that if you have no control over that money, then you don't need to have it in your books of accounts, so that operate as if it is CSR, and you choose projects, they implement, but it doesn't appear on the books of accounts, because if it appears there, then the audit doesn't flag it. Unless then you are saying, if they collect, they are able to give you the documents which the auditors are looking for. If that doesn't happen, then let the committee collect, let them do the projects, let them account. I think that is the best way to go about it. Auditor?
Thank you, Chair. I think that's the correct way. Our only worry was the risk entailed in this sales correction, because the previous year they corrected 23 million. Now this year they corrected 11 million in sales. And then probably next year it will be 2 million. So that shows clearly that there is an accountability issue on this sales engagement. Yeah.
So that's another limb. Because you're looking at ROR, then you have to look at that limb which you did not raise. Did you raise it here? That the sales is reducing.
I think, Chair, in note number 12 of page 8, note 1, it gives the schedule on the certificate, the financial statement of receiver. If you look, the sugar sales, maram sales, long timber field, maize and wheat sales, avocado. In 2023-2024, they raised 11.8 million. In 2022-2023, they raised 23 million. That's a whooping fall of almost 10 million difference. So I think what the issue should be, the governor can make a statement why this sudden fall, because we were just discussing about sales. Because overall it will affect the ONSO's revenue and performance, because it is being budgeted within the budgets that is being passed by the county assembly.
Governor, you might want to comment on that. Explain. Why the reduction in the...
Thank you, Chair, through His Excellency, that the drop, the 23 million was at a time before the committees came into effect. it went to 11 million after now these sales committees started collecting the sales themselves. So that explains why it went from 23 million to 11 million.
Chair, I find that answer untruthful because if the CCM has this, it notices that he collected 0 on sales, maize and wheat, 0. So it is not even about, we are not discussing about tea sales here. It was only sugar sales, which I can agree that it was 7 million, but he collected 0 on the other 2 items. On that note, number 1 on the financial statements.
CC. Governor.
So second chair, get the annex.
Page 8 of the certificate.
The certificate. There's a reduction of sugar sales from 22 to 11 million, maram sales from 265 to 168, log timber firewood from 71 to 60.
Yeah, I don't want to help the CEC to respond to that query, but I'm just wondering, why do you want to struggle to deal with this matter? It's not your matter. Why do you want to struggle with it?
We have a receiver of revenue. Who is the receiver of revenue?
Chair is here.
You might want
the director.
The director to assist you.
Thank you, Chair. For the financial year 22-23, the committee way was not in place. We were still collecting all these sales through CRF. That is why you can see 23 million. In the financial year 23-24, that is when the committee was set up. And for a start, the first half of the committee paid into the committee account.
Chair, just to be efficient, Chair, with on indulgence,
yes.
That part of the issue of committee has been explained adequately. The concern is why the drop and you are correcting 0 on some of the items. We have had the other part, Mr. Nicholas. The other part has been explained adequately by the CC and the governor. But we want to know why you collecting, why this sudden fall. You have explained, yes, the sales was moved, the committee, blah, blah, blah. So why were you, there was a drop in other items? That's the whole point.
Chair, that's exactly my point. My point is, the county government of Nandi should just admit that this responsibility moved to other people. So don't struggle, be what? Don't struggle answering for people, because you don't know what you, from your own explanation, Governor, from your explanation, you have no role in that collection from the time that the court made a ruling. You have no role. So what are you trying to explain? I mean, it is not you who collected, it's a committee that collected. You have admitted that you are ready to learn and go and improve on this. Why do you want us to spend time you explaining how some entity collected money and you don't even know how they collected it?
So I think this can keep
Chair, can I propose, I'm thinking very fast, so that we move.
Yeah.
I have seen the agreement that was signed by Governor alongside these stakeholders, including his officers. Why don't we do this? Why don't the committee appear alongside Governor, alongside these people who have signed? Then they can bring the schedule, because the issue of roads in Nandi is so serious that the roads are impassable and pathetic at the moment. So why is it we direct that the governor appears alongside this committee as receiver of revenue, so that we ask questions to the right people? Because wanasema kwa Kiswahili, mbona tuandike na mate na wino iko, sijui kama hiyo ni kwa Kiswahili. Hiyo ni Kiswahili sanifu. Hiyo ni Kiswahili sanifu. By the way, Wambua should know I went to one of the best secondary schools that was run by the president, William Ruto, Kapsavet Boys. No, yes, I'm not the ordinary person.
Yes, a TikTok. Chair, I agree with you. I mean, if you, of course, this committee has powers as Parliament to summon any member of the public, but the initial direction that you had given is what we can work with. Get you the schedules and the documents from the committee. If then there are still outstanding issues, then if there is need to invite us and the committee members, we are much obliged.
So the initial direction still remains.
Chair, just one comment. Chair, with your indulgence, if you know we are listening to what the governor is saying, he has said he is not the way Wambu has put. He is not the one collecting the money. So we want to see these people who are collecting the money and tell us how they are spending. Alongside the governor, because Chair, as he has said under Article 125, anyway, this committee has powers and parliamentary, because I can see there are many people who signed. Is it an offense for them to appear and tell us this is the March this is the schedule, so that we can close that matter? But and by the way, Chair, this is around 100 million. Was 84 million plus 7? So it's a lot of money.
Yeah, we can go that direction. If the documents that are brought do not satisfy this committee, that the money was well spent. So we can go to unsupported revenues from single. No, I didn't give a timeline. How fast can you bring these documents? 2 weeks?
Yes, 2 weeks, Chair.
2 weeks, okay. Auditor, unsupported revenues from single business permits?
Chair, unsupported revenue from single business permits. The statement of receipts and disbursements reflects under county own source revenue single business permits corrections of Kenya shillings 55,229,639 as disclosed in Note 3 to the revenue statements. However, revenues generated through annual business permits, business permit renewal fees, and business permit application fees were not supported with the list of total registered business outlets, and the schedules provided were not broken down into the individual revenue streams as reported. Further, the amount invoiced as per the system reports was Kenya shillings 62,923,330, which is at variance with the reported correction of Kenya shillings 55,229,639, resulting to an unexplained difference of Kenya shillings 7,693,691. Thank you, Chair.
Governor?
Chair, the variance noted as Kenya shillings 7.693691 was primarily due to the reporting structure of the system, where the billed amount was being repeated for every partial payment made against a single bill. This led to an inflated total bill amount in the reports, which did not accurately reflect the actual billing. The reporting logic has now been revised to reflect each bill with a single billed amount entry, regardless of the number of associated partial payments. And under Annex 5, we have the vendor report.
Auditor, what is still not answered?
Chair, it's addressed from that explanation only that we need to have a check in the system as we do the next audits on this ROR.
So you're saying it's something you can keep in view?
Yes, Chair.
You want to audit the system?
No, we want to check on it and see what it
If
generates.
the same happens?
Yeah, yes, Chair.
Or if the variance does not occur?
Yes, Chair.
Checking on
Does
the
it
system
point
is
towards it any loss of money?
No, we don't require, we have our system auditors. We just invite them to check on this.
So it's just audit.
Just audit.
No, I'm saying
I see audit is part of the
explanation was
audit.
done. If it was done and you're not satisfied, why didn't you employ your system auditors to do that audit then?
Chair, we were not to do it, but after this, now we have the direction to do it because we needed an explanation from management on this, which they have done. And now we are convinced that we need our systems auditors to check on it.
Nandi is saying something?
So, Chair, then in the interest of time, then it's very clear that that query, the audit is incomplete. So we can't engage on it, can we?
So maybe, Chair, you can direct the OAG to do system audit
Yeah.
So
So,
that we can.
how long would it take to do that systems audit?
Chair, we need 3 months.
We can.
So you will capture it in the next cycle. If you're not satisfied, let us have it as a query on the certificate in the next audit report. We want to look at 9.0. We had identified that one about the risk in revenue collections. Auditor,
The last,
on page 14.
is the last issue. So risk in revenue corrections, the statement of receipts and disbursement reflects ungenerated revenue amount of Kenya shillings 307,822,318. It was noted that the county government terminated employees' contracts for some staff in revenue departments in the month of September 2024. However, during audit verification, it was noted that employees whose contracts were terminated were still performing their duties. Allowing employees whose contract has been terminated and not receiving any remuneration from the county government to continue performing their duties poses a risk and may lead to loss of revenue. Further, enforcement officers' contracts were equally terminated, and this may lead to lack of supervision in revenue correction. Thank you, Chair.
What we need to agree is that because there's an audit on HR by the Auditor General, could this be one of the issues captured in that report? So that then, if it is one of the issues, you can leave it.
Can I
until
just
the
ask
time.
one question to OAG through the indulgence of the chair?
Yes.
So the issue here, OAG, was on the issue of revenue officers collecting while their contracts had been terminated. So that was the audit query.
Yes, that was the risk. That was the query.
Then
and the
we
risk.
can handle with HR.
It's a
So,
HR issue.
Yes,
Can you handle it later on with the whole report on HR?
yes.
Auditor.
Chairman,
we
we'll mark
did.
the issue so that when we do the payroll audit report, we'll have it included.
Okay, so we can keep this one in view
Yes, Chairman.
in the interest of time. Eh?
Question was not answered, whether this appears in that report.
I've already received the management response to that query.
Yeah, but we want to use our time effectively
Yes.
because we have a whole report on HR, on Nandi, and all the other counties. During the time when you're looking at those reports,
Chair, I think the point, Senator Wambua, sorry, in this audit report of the executive, the certificate, it has a lot of issues on HR. So the chair was directing that we consolidate, then we make way out.
yeah,
Yeah.
sawa. So we can go to the executive report.
Chair, just for efficiency of the committee,
Okay, yes.
I'm aware that the ESCC is doing investigations on payroll of
Yes.
Nandi County. Chair, maybe I needed to know your direction on the committee, and since ESCC is here, to just shed light so that we don't need to go through what is already being investigated by ESCC, so that before we move to other matter, the issue on human resource can be closed at that point.
That's a fair concern. ESCC, which
Yes.
issues are being investigated, which
Yes.
fall in this certificate?
Yes, Chair, I can confirm as regards the issues involving human resource, specifically payroll. ESCC is actively conducting investigations into the payroll matter, which is at an advanced stage, should be forwarded soon to the Director of Public Prosecutions. I can confirm we're investigating the payroll.
Yes, Senator Terage, are you satisfied?
So, Chair, I just want to appeal, because this matter came up in almost 2 years now, to appeal to ESCC to fast track this information, these investigations. so that this matter can be put to rest. I appeal to EACC because if they are doing evidence analysis to...
Let me just find out, yeah? EACC, like 1.1, under compensation of employees, employee with no personal file. Could that be one of the issues under your purview? Or we can look at it?
But I thought if you have agreed to deal with HR issues, you should leave it at that.
Direction on that issue, because so now we need to go to the specifics of the issues. Then we open the file and go to the specifics.
Do we agree
if we have
that
said that we leave HR, because we'll be working on eggshells.
Correct.
So we don't know what to touch, what we cannot touch.
Correct, yes.
So why can't we let the HR issues be handled where they're being handled? Yeah. Then we deal with these other issues that are clear.
Yeah, I want us to agree on
Chair,
that one.
as you rule
Yes.
with your indulgence is that since this matter will all go back to the payroll, even if you ask a personal file, somebody has been paid beyond retirement age, compensation, allowances and what have you, it will still go back to the payroll of Nandi County. So it just, in my own opinion, the EACC should just fast track and prosecute whoever they need to prosecute for accountability purposes. So if we go, we will be risking, we'll be just working in a quagmire. So my own opinion, let EACC fast track the investigation, prosecute who they have to prosecute, then that matter closes their chair. Because if we go one by one, we'll be nowhere to touch.
And to add on to that, we have a whole report again
Yeah.
on
Special
payroll.
audit.
Yes. So in that case, members, we can go to projects 3.3. I don't know on the 3.3 is on proposed construction of perimeter wall and external works. Where is this auditor?
Chair, maybe, sorry for taking you back.